What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and some more bolt action coverage for you today. So we got another one of the campaign books here where we're going to do a quick flip through just to show you guys what's in here. So this is Battleground Europe, D-Day to Germany. So obviously going to be focusing on the Western Front, and a great companion to the newer D-Day books that Warlord has released. But this is definitely a little bit one of the older ones, but still has a lot of great information in here. So, as we can see, and what they always do in these campaign books is provide you with a whole lot of extra scenarios to try out. So if you're getting tired of the generic missions from the core book, this again just presents you with all kinds of fun new things to try out, and really kind of some new types of gameplay as well, right? So yeah, the aerial landings and stuff like that here. So like glider borne fighting, as you make your landings behind the lines and things like that for D-Day. So just really great stuff here. So, and again, combined with the newer D-Day sector books and all that, it's just a great way to really zoom in on that particular part of the conflict and just, again, have some really fun, unique gaming experiences. So they all start off with some background on that particular part of the conflict, but then getting into some scenarios. So we got some night fighting rules here. Again, different books will have different versions of that. So, but here you have some as well. Glider assault, capture the highway. Again, we'll get into the scenarios, focusing on the different battles, different areas. And then what we also typically get then are additional forces, so new units for the forces involved on both sides, new army lists, and so on and so forth. So in that sense, you get not just new missions and things to try out, but new vehicles, new infantry, things like that. So there's always modeling and hobby opportunities as well. So then moving from Normandy, again, this book is covering a fair bit of territory, right? But the D-Day book specifically, obviously really dive deep into that. The breakout there, so we get into like Cobra, Falaise Pocket, more the hedgerow fighting. So a fun series of battles there. Anyway, getting into Liberating Europe. So again, just background on things like that, even getting all the way to the Battle of the Bulge. And so then you get Arnhem, Bastogne, and so on. So again, this book is covering a fair bit of territory, and so isn't going to go as in-depth as, just zooming in on one particular area. So, like Market Garden, for example, is its own thing. But this book, again, is just covering a lot here. And then finally, the last section, shortest section, getting into the Reich. So some of the last battles, 45 and so on. So, like Operation Plunder, getting into the Ruhr territory, and so on and so forth. But again, as you can see all the way throughout, you get all kinds of new units to try out, as, on the German side, throwing just last desperate things at the Allies here, and just, again, whether it's vehicles, infantry, formations, army lists, etc. So what's in the book? So we start off, again, providing context for D-Day, bringing in background. So again, always great modeling and hobby opportunities as well. Just, if you really want to create and prepare some awesome tables to fight over, then you definitely get that here. So, but bringing in, again, Pathfinder squads, rules for those. And really, this also lends itself to some smaller battles too. So, some of this more covert behind enemy lines type of combat here. So, if you've seen Band of Brothers and stuff like that, you'll be well familiar with this particular part here. We get into the first scenario. So you got night fighting. And again, at some point we will dive deep into the book and really spend time on all of the different features. But this is, again, just a quick flip through. So we got our night fighting rules here. Rules for gliders, and again, opportunity to have some models and hobby fun with that. Getting into capturing the causeway. Then we get into Normandy, of course. So again, here this is, again, more of a snapshot, because the Normandy book specifically, obviously, we'll deal with that in quite some depth. But things for like the Atlantic Wall, how to work that into your games. Dealing with minefields, all different types of mines. So then getting into, again, units on both sides. So the 21st Panzers and some of the new goodies that they have here. And again, what these campaign books do so well is just, again, presenting new things for you to try. So whether it's scenarios, models, lists, again, you really should not get to a point where you're ever bored with anything for bolt action, just because there's just so many things to explore. Even, if you're playing the same army, but trying out a campaign book will definitely present new challenges for you. So in that sense, always well worth it. And the more of these really you get, you can really just significantly expand your gaming opportunities here. Things like ambulances here, the British lists here. You got the 12th Panzer, SS Panzer, foreign SS units, Carentan, of course, so fun stuff there. And again, plenty Villers Bocage, of course, so just so many fun hobby opportunities here. Getting into the Gold Beach, moving inland, then the final, the Breakout. So Goodwood, Cobra, Falaise Pocket, Hedgerow, Hell, fun there. Falaise Gap, Holding the Hill, and then again, the book kind of goes at a pretty brisk pace in that sense. Then now we're on to Liberating Europe. So here's again Market Garden, even though there's the separate Market Garden book. So you can use this as a starter, but then take a deeper dive with the actual Market Garden campaign. And it's still worth having, again, multiple of these books, right? So there's going to be some information here that you'll see again in like the D-Day books, but each book still has enough unique information, and again, you can kind of mix and match as well. So there's nothing that says you have to just stick with things from one book versus the other or something like that. So by all means, mix and match as long as it makes sense. There's still opportunity there. So again, some named characters here. New things like a Luftwaffe Field Division. So just cool stuff here. The Wasp Flamethrower Carrier. Neat. Battle of the Scheldt. So you get into like Amsterdam or Holland, Low Countries, stuff like that. Siegfried Line. Aachen. Hurtgen, of course. Great stuff there. So, and again, you can really also field, again, battles large and small in and around all these scenarios. So it's not just always going to, or it doesn't always need to be just a typical, game size. So, if you don't always want to go all that in depth, put all that work in for like a massive battle, all kinds of terrain, bring it down, make it a smaller game. Do something like a combat patrol, like throw 500 points together and see what you can come up with there. That's another way of getting some gaming in. Brandenburgers, of course, really fun unit to try out there, though your opponent might not like them so much. So again, always getting new things like theater selectors is just fantastic new things to try out. So, if you're getting tired of just the same old list that you're playing, by all means, another reason to jump in with these. Skorzeny, of course. He's kind of ridiculous as well. Nordwind, so again, getting into the later battles here. And then Bastogne, of course, again, really deserves its own book and all that, of course. Then, getting into the Reich. So again, we're just moving at a very brisk pace here. So veteran infantry, Remagen, and to the last little things here. So to the final days of the war. And then some little appendix work here on multinational forces. But again, so not one of the larger books, so this is just clocking at 108. Some of the newer campaign books certainly are beefier, but this book is really having to do a lot, right? Just because of it's essentially covering everything from D-Day to the end on the Western Front. So it certainly can't capture everything, otherwise it'd be probably twice as thick, 3 times as thick as it currently is. But this is, again, a great starting off point for expanding your Western Europe theater gaming horizons for bolt action. So let us know in the comments, guys, what your thoughts are. If you've jumped into Battleground Europe and what you've gotten out of it and some of your favorite battles to recreate. Hit us up in the comments there, guys. Like and subscribe, and also check out the poll we got going as to which of the campaign books we're going to do a deep dive into first and really, again, explore all the different things that it presents. So make sure you vote. That's up on the polls, on our posts, and then we will see you in the next one. Take care.